Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chief Justice Roberts to administer the presidential oath of office.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
The US president is warning Russia and the Russian President Vladimir Putin that he'll have no choice but to impose taxes and tariffs as well as sanctions if a deal to stop the conflict in Ukraine is not reached soon. Donald Trump is also demanding an apology from a bishop who spoke at a prayer service yesterday in Washington, D.C.
I think we're back to the era of government by Truth Social. We had one late last night against the Bishop of Washington and one this morning, which I'll start with, about Trump's plans for solving the war in Ukraine. It hasn't taken him 24 hours, as he promised on the campaign trail. We still have not seen peace in our time, though we are 24 hours into this presidency. He is tweeting that he will see some kind of way of doing a deal with Vladimir Putin and hoping that that will persuade him to finish this war. And I'll just read out to you what he has written. I'm not looking to hurt Russia. I love the Russian people and always had a very good relationship with President Putin. All of that being said, I'm going to do Russia, whose economy is failing, and President Putin a very big favor. Settle now and stop this ridiculous war. It's only going to get worse. If we don't make a deal, and soon, I have no other choice but to put high levels of taxes, tariffs and sanctions on anything being sold by Russia to the United States and various other participating countries. Now, there is no trade of any significance between Russia and the United States either way since the beginning of this war. There is nothing to tax or put tariffs on that will in any way persuade President Putin to change his behavior. In the first Trump administration, he boasted over and over again that no one had sanctioned Russia as heavily as he had, and yet President Putin still decided to invade Ukraine, even though President Trump continually says that the war would never have happened if it had been on his watch. And we have seen that sanctions imposed by the United States, imposed by the international community on Russia, have not in any way deterred Vladimir Putin from continuing this war. So to feel or to argue, as President Trump seems to be doing, that he can use economic leverage on Vladimir Putin to end this war seems to be a very elementary way of viewing the nature of the conflict. And to go on to the second tweet of really late last night against the Bishop of Washington, who yesterday in her sermon rebuked Vladimir Putin for the way he was handling LGBTQ+ and undocumented migrants, asking him to have mercy. The first time that anyone really has stood up to him for any period of time along the campaign trail, and now he has replied in a post on Truth Social. She was nasty in tone and not compelling or smart. She failed to mention the large number of illegal migrants that came into our country and killed people. Many were deposited from jails and mental institutions. It is a giant crime wave that is taking place in the USA. By the way, those numbers are disputed about whether it's undocumented migrants or whether it's actually people born in the USA who are responsible for large levels of crime. But anyway, apart from her inappropriate statements, he continues, the service was a very boring and uninspiring one. She is not very good at her job. She and her church owe the public an apology, which is really calling into question, you know, her theology, saying that she should not be making the kinds of statements that she should. I think it's worth pointing out that not just the Bishop of Washington, but also Pope Francis himself has called Donald Trump's plans to deport undocumented migrants a disgrace.